What's up, gang? It's your boy Tyler, and thank you for watching another episode of the most trash show on YouTube, Garage Goons. And today, I wanted to do a full review. I did the unboxing and first impressions of my Pro-Am Club 2.0 club range. Now, if you're into boxing gloves reviews, if you watch like C Squared or Combat Corner or Simon's, I forget what the British dude that does all the rankings of the gloves. You might stumble into this brand Pro-Am because there is a British boxing gym owner who started making these gloves for the love of the game. And I say that because if you live in the UK, you can still to this day get this glove for, I think it's like 80 pounds, which is like 95 US dollars. And it used to be 70 pounds. And he said straight up that he was basically breaking even. He wasn't even making money selling gloves. He just wanted to spread the love of boxing and put his name out there so he can make money on other things like his pro fight gloves or, his higher end fight gloves. Now this is meant to be this is his training glove. What a training glove is it's supposed to be good for mitts, it's supposed to be good for sparring, and it's supposed to be good for the bag. So it's hard enough to do hardcore bag work, or stiff enough I should say, but soft enough to where you're not going to totally bludgeon your sparring partners, which you shouldn't be doing anyways, but the glove does have something to do with that. You should have softer gloves for sparring and harder gloves for bag work, generally speaking. Training gloves are usually somewhere in between, and this is no exception. So this has a really, the smell has died off a little bit, but I have been using this every single day since I got these, and I do have a fight coming up at the end of exactly a week from today. So I've been using these in sparring, bag work, mitt work. I'm a Muay Thai fighter. And I really appreciate a lot of things about these gloves. I brought some other gloves to compare them to so you can see side by side. As you can see, I got the bright green color variant. I wanted to get the black. I ordered the black. They reached out to me via email and said, hey, just so you know, we're sold out of the black. I'm sorry, what other colorway would you like? I was bummed because for us in the United States, at least for me, when I shipped this to California, when I checked out, it was under $100, right? When I added it to my cart, it was like 90 something dollars, right? Converting pounds to US dollars. But the tariffs and all that stuff made it $140. So now you go from an affordable sub $100 glove to now $140. And I know some people say, well, that's shipping, whatever. But at the end of the day, I know he only ships from the UK, but you can get other gloves for $150 and they're more mass produced, so you can get them in the States and you're getting conceivably a higher quality glove. Now, this does feel and perform 100% like a $150 glove, if you will. And I even would argue that there are $200 gloves out there that are not as high quality as this. So let's talk about it. I got the Velcro version. These are 16 ounces. I still haven't weighed them yet. I feel like they're probably pretty close because all my gloves are 16 ounces, to be frank. That's all I use for training. And, I don't have smaller size gloves for whatever reason. So, but it is a nice, beautiful badge they have here. It hasn't flaked off at all or started to flake off. So whatever they've done to iron that on there or press that on, it's worked out really well. Again, I've been using this for like a little over 10 days now since I got it. Really nice glove. What I do appreciate too is they have embossed the logo on the back of the Velcro, which is rare. Most of the time, it's a sewn-on patch or it's a plastic patch, or the worst of the worst is it's a like an ironed-on something or like a stitched-on something that's going to cause cuts, and that's what you don't want. So you do have the 16-ounce tag here right below the Velcro. Now the Velcro, I might have to do a long-term review to let you know, because I made the mistake of telling you it's good Velcro when the gloves were like a month old, and then a year later they no longer had good Velcro. But it feels good out the box. The inside liner, really cool, says Pro-Am. It feels like a cotton poly blend. It's not as smooth as like my Hit Moves, for example. It's not that silky. There's a little bit of grainy texture to it, but it's mostly smooth. And it's good at wicking moisture and sweat away. Now, opening up the palm here, nice, easy to open. Again, these are 10 days old, and look how easily I'm already able to open these. It does have a grip bar. That's a medium-sized grip bar, but it's nice and firm, which I love firm grip bars. I don't like squishy grip bars. Then on the inside here, under the fingers, there's almost like a secondary grip bar where they like rolled up the materials and sewed them in to where now you have that double grip bar feeling and a nice something to grip. And you can really roll your knuckles over. So you're not hitting with these knuckles, you're hitting with these knuckles, okay? I have pretty large hands and my fingers do go all the way to the end. So if you have, I'm 6'1" and 180 pounds. I don't know, 185 pounds, and I don't really know how big my hands are. Like, I couldn't tell you inches wise. What's a good reference? Here's like your standard, 500 milliliter water bottle, and there's one of my hands, okay? So hopefully that gives you an idea of how big my hand is. But it does go all the way in to the end. So if you are a really big dude, they do offer like an 18-ounce glove that's a little bit more heavy duty and larger. That might be the way to go on that. Looking underneath, back to the palm, you do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 air holes on the hand, and then you have 3 more along the thumb, which I really appreciate. I don't like mesh, but I do like leather that has as many air holes as humanly possible. That's really nice. They do have a stitched on thumb, and there is this like really cool, almost racing stripe aesthetic here on the thumb for both of them. And it's a really nice, good looking glove. It makes it stand out. And I do like the fact that it's two-tone, black underneath, neon on top. And again, I think this, if you can still find these ones online, this is a better looking logo than their original logo, which I think looks a little funky, but great gloves nonetheless. The leather is high quality. It's a thick leather. I don't know how well you can see this, but it's a thick cowhide, dense leather. I don't know if it's top grain or what, but it is a nice smelling leather. You do have an attached thumb with a leather attachment, which is a nice detail there. I've looked at the stitching, and the stitching everywhere, you have double stitching along the inside right here, going down to the wrist cuff, all the way up. Single stitching coming across this part here, double stitching around both sides of the grip bar, and single stitching on the thumb, okay? There was a few minor flaws, like for example, you can see on the left glove here where they kind of didn't tuck away this end of the material here. And also you can see a little bit of that where they sewed the thumb on to the fist compartment, okay? Both gloves feel exactly the same. There's no distinction as far as like one glove feels a little smaller than the other, or one glove looks a different way, or the stitching is different. The stitching is exactly the same. I've thoroughly inspected these. They are exactly the same. Here they are on my knees. They're the exact same height, okay? Same shape and everything. And one thing that's very underrated is the curvature of this thumb here, okay? The curvature of the thumb, hang on one second. I don't know what happened to my camera light. That's fine. The curvature of the thumb, this is one of the most comfortable thumbs I've ever felt out of the box. Just point blank. It's just a great thumb. It's hard to ignore how good the curvature of this is. I haven't jammed my thumb once. That's something that I've done because I don't like naturally when my hand's in a boxing glove, I don't naturally like press my thumb in like you're supposed to. I just kind of like relax it. So I really do rely on the placement of the thumb, and it does a very good job of never hitting the strike surface. Even if I don't turn my hooks over, this part that kind of flares out over the thumb covers it really well. Now, because they did didn't have the colorway I wanted, they threw this in and wrote a nice little note. I thought that's a really nice touch. One thing, they didn't feel that way straight out of the box. I don't know why, but they are one of my most compact gloves. For reference, here's my other neon green glove, okay? The Hit and Move, and side by side, you can see that this one is significantly more narrow, which is great for slipping through the guard, okay? Both ways, more narrow, okay? So that's a really good feature. Very good for pairing. If Muay Thai guys, there is no padding on the palm at all. So, and there is enough flexibility if you are a Muay Thai guy in the wrist to get a good Thai plum and to have some mobility here. Now, that would be a downside if you're a pure boxer and you want your wrists to be absolutely 100% locked in. These are not anywhere near top tier for wrist protection, in my opinion. You can see there's some slight sag there, okay? Now, turning back, you can see it holds its form. Forward, though, it's a top-heavy glove. It does have a natural sag to it that you can see. So this hinge point right here, if you have wrist issues, maybe steer clear, okay? I think if you're in the UK, you probably will never find a better value for bang for your buck for a boxing glove, just point blank period. If you're somewhere else and you're paying a lot to ship it, like I did, 40 plus 45 bucks to ship it, I still think it's worth the money. However, I just don't know if you should blind buy something that you can't test out that's in a normal boxing shop, right? So that's the tricky part. I would say this is a puncher's glove. My Hit and Moves are like a protective, well-rounded, kind of like spongy, springy glove. This, it's not quite as soft as like my Flies, for example, okay, that feel very bouncy, very soft latex. This is somewhere in between. I would guess that there's multi-layer foams in here, maybe some open cell foam, and maybe some latex somewhere in there, but it is springy. You do get good feedback and good pop, and this is good as far as knuckle support. It's not the best, but I do think that if you throw a lot of volume, a lot of punches, you're not like a big heavy hitter guy that's hurt his hand, boxing fractures before. If you don't have hand problems like that, I don't think these will give you new problems, so to speak. But if you know you have hand problems, maybe look into something a little bit more protective, okay? On the bottom side, you do have a little bit of padding over the wrist. It feels like a kind of firm foam, but it's very thin. It's not much. This is not like a Mexican style glove that's going to totally cast up your wrist and save you that way. But again, very high quality for the money that you pay. I really enjoy using these. I don't think that there's something that I would say, no, I take it back. The thumb is the star of the show. This is my favorite thumb. Okay, but besides the thumb, which is super comfortable, super underrated, it's so, when you find a glove that has a perfect thumb and you've had gloves a while, you know it's something special there. But outside of that, there's nothing that this glove like really stands out and that I can say, oh, it's great for this. It's just really good at a lot of things, and I think that's what he's going for. A very well-rounded, good training glove. Now, again, in the UK, absolutely pull the trigger. Don't think twice about it. Just do it. If you're not in the UK and you're in the States, I don't want to tell you it's blind buy worthy. I would buy this glove again, but it's one of those things where I can't tell you in good faith that you should spend 140 bucks and not try it out first. You know what I mean? But I do think it's a fantastic glove if you're on the fence about it. If you've had, let's say, like a pair of Everlast that are, bullshit that you bought under 70 bucks from Walmart or whatever, and you're looking to step up your game and you want something that nobody else has, I think this could be a good option for you. But again, it's personal to the fighter, and it's personal to the boxer, and it's personal to what you're trying to get out of it, right? Like, are you only hitting the bag and mitts? Are you mostly just sparring? Are you doing a cardio kickboxing class? Like, what kind of fight style are you doing? But anyways, that's my review on the Club Range 2.0s. Like, comment, subscribe, hit all the buttons. Talk to me in the comments, homie. I talk back. And thank you for watching Most Trash Show on YouTube. Garage Guns, we are out of this bitch.